You're listening to the Teach Better Talk podcast featuring expert educators eager to share progressive tactics to reach more students. Teach Better Talk is created by teachers and fueled by passion. Let's get started.
Hey everyone! Jeff just did the best whatever, just so y'all know. I don't know if Chris can edit that in. Chris, can you put that right here?
Whatever.
All right, thank you. All right. Hey everyone. Welcome to episode 247 of Teach Better Talk. My name is Ray Heward. I have Jeff Gargas with me. Shenanigans have already been flying. And guess what? We are pausing right here because Jeff's audio just went out. So, Jeff, are you back? Can you hear me?
I don't know, I can hear you.
Hi, Jeff. How's your day going? Yeah, I know you lost audio there for a minute, but all you missed was me celebrating how amazing you are. I talked really highly about you. Sorry about that, buddy.
That's a good thing I didn't hear any of that nonsense.
It's a good thing.
I'm good. I was great until I don't know what's going on. That's happened way too often lately. I don't know for sure. I think I'm going to use that as an excuse to get a new MacBook. I don't actually think that's the problem, but I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to do.
I don't think that's the problem either.
I'm going to be like, hey, something's happening that probably has nothing to do with this, so I should spend the money on it.
So let me preface, I'm sorry.
Pull this.
So your computer is a Teach Better team computer. So if you get a new computer, does that mean everybody on the team gets a wish list item? Because I have plenty of things I'd like for the team to purchase.
No.
Like a brand new car. That would be it.
You want a car? Oh.
Yeah.
What kind of car?
Oh, actually, I'm just kidding. I really love my car, but how about a beach vacation to Miami or something I don't know.
You want to go to Miami? Is that where you want to go?
No.
You're rattling off wish list things that aren't wish lists.
Here's what I want.
You know what your dream vacation is actually just a week at Zion Coffee.
Okay, yes. I would like an all expenses paid trip for 7 days to the Cayman Islands. Can you make that happen?
No.
Why not? You're getting a new MacBook. It's almost the same.
It's almost the same. If I get the iMac that I want, it's about the same at that point, probably.
Thank you, Teach Better team, for paying for my vacay.
Yeah.
Any podcast listeners, if you want to come, just call me.
Okay. We can talk about that at some point, but I'm pretty sure we have way too much going on right now for you to go take 7 days at the Cayman Islands.
We do have so much going on, Jeff. I was just working on a project today that comes out in April, and people were so excited. I felt badly. My last message was, hey, this doesn't start till April.
So awesome project coming out in April, which is great. But anything, can we talk about something that's happening now? So this is coming out on the 11th of February. Anything happening in February or maybe March? I don't know.
Actually, there's a bunch of stuff. Can I preview some stuff and give I can't give final details because not all the projects are confirmed. But there are totally some projects that our podcast listeners would be excited about.
Can you give semi-final details?
I can give semi-final details. Yes.
Or at least Elite 8 stuff?
I will give the best I can give in this moment. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right.
That's good.
So there's a lot going on right now. If you've listened to past episodes, you know that there's epic things going on in February. We have the ambassador program that just launched. We have the popcorn hangout happening. My TED Talk's coming out. There's a bunch of conferences we're all a part of, blah, 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 blah. Guys, end of February, we have a brand new live series starting where we are going to build grids live with one-on-one coaching with educators from around the globe. And I am so excited.
With Lego pieces or the Erectus set? What are we using here?
No, so you guys know we have the grid method. The creator, Chad Ostrowski, is obviously our BFF.
Grids.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And
awesome.
That's you guys know, the Teach Better team, we love giving stuff for free. You guys know, most of us just joke around with all of you all the time. But the way that our company stays afloat and pays people for their jobs is by partnering with districts. We do professional development, and a lot of the professional development we do is focused on mastery learning. Jeff is making a face. I know.
We pay people?
We pay a lot of people to do incredible work, Jeff. That's what we do. Yes.
My cat's yelling at me right now.
Well, okay, let's focus back on Chad Ostrowski. So Chad Ostrowski, the creator.
Now we're giving Chad away for free.
The creator, we are giving him away for free. Because, Jeff, I get questions all the time we do have the free course. We do have the full workshop. We actually have a ton of resources in our academy and on the teachbetter.com website. But I love the process of like building a grid where you get to have somebody pick out their standard and begin to scaffold what it looks like. So we're doing an entire like 8 or 9 part series where every week Chad is going to go live with a different type of educator in a different type of subject area, all grades K-12. And we're going to talk shop and talk about how to build grids. And I am so stinking excited. So if you're an elementary teacher, you might like watching an elementary grid being built, but you might also like watching a middle school grid being built on a topic that you also teach, and you'll, adapt it for an elementary level. So I think that process is going to be incredible. Keep your eye out for that. That's going to start at the end of February, like the last week, and it's going to go almost all the way through like mid-April. So you guys are going to get a lot of hours and hours and hours of one-on-one coaching, and it's all going to be live. So you actually can ask questions as they go, and I'm super stinking excited about it.
Are we streaming that everywhere, all across social media? Is that what that is?
Yeah, that'll be on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. And if you miss it, it'll also be under the free downloads tab on the website. So if at any point, if you miss like the video you wanted to see, like an elementary art teacher building a grid or a high school social studies teacher building a grid, we're going to curate all of those and have them saved multiple places on the website, including the free downloads and in our academy, so you have access.
You want to know a secret? And this is like a legit... I don't know if it's... I think it's probably a secret. I don't know if many people would know this.
What?
It's actually one of my favorite things about what we... Like, one of my favorite things to do is to actually work with teachers and help them build grids.
Really?
Which is weird, because, like, people know that I'm the only one... Well, I think the only one.
You're the only one.
Two of us on the team that was never a classroom teacher. So, like, the curriculum side is not out of what's the word I'm looking for? Not out of my wheelhouse, but just different for me.
Sure.
But I love like helping a teacher work through that process.
Yes.
And what I love even more than that, personally, is watching either you or Chad do that, because like seeing the wheels turn. So I'm really excited about this thing. And like that legit is something that I love doing. That I probably one of the things I miss most, because I don't go to as many trainings anymore.
Yeah.
Obviously, even more so now because of COVID. But like to get to see that. And then when you see their mind click and they go, oh, okay, now I see my grid. Like that's super cool.
And what I love about the process is you're problem solving in the moment. So you get to experience like all the hurdles, all the dead ends that then you change something. Like I think it actually shows the organic nature of how to build a system that supports every single learner in your classroom. Mm-hmm. And this is all just going to be live conversation. So come hang out with us. That will be fun. And it's something I'm excited for March. I thought that was like a super fun thing that our team is working on right now.
Okay, that's super cool. That's really awesome. But you said lots of stuff. So like, what else?
Okay, so there is a lot of stuff. Maybe I should
just full disclosure. I'm legit asking. This is not me trying to set Ray up. I'm actually asking. I've been out for a few days. I don't know what's going on.
So
things go.
Let me preface though. This is all in addition to like, guys, we have our biweekly family check-in that we're doing the mastermind recap in. We're doing the best intentions series. We're doing Mastery Chat every week. That we have this podcast that has 2 episodes a week. We have
45 blog posts coming out in February.
45 blog posts, coming out in February. So there's a lot going on. But the other thing that's worth mentioning that nobody knows about, including our team, so sorry that I'm like totally spilling all the secrets right now. As of today, what is today, February 1st? As of today, there is a brand new series coming in April that is literally going to rock your socks. I haven't even approved this to you, Jeff. Are you okay if I announce this without talking to you about it?
Should I approve it right now?
Yeah, just consider it as approved.
This will be everybody listens to the quote-unquote approval process, which is where Jeff just says okay.
So I decided. We need more Dave and Caitlin, because even during...
Oh, approved,
right?
Like, forget. I don't even care what it is.
So, like, 12-hour live, that was, like, the hour that was mentioned the most, that people got so much value.
Hands down.
Dave and Caitlin are such gurus in so many spaces, and they continue to do so much great work. I was like, how can we put them together in a consistent way for them to talk shop? Because they're incredible to listen to. And so... After, at the tail end of our Build a Grid live series that will be going on that we just mentioned with Chad, we're actually going to spark up a Focus on the Focus series. And this is going to be all about grading practices for an open-minded progressive educator trying to change their practice. So it is going to be a lot of sessions. There's, I want to say somewhere between 5 to 8. I don't know that we've confirmed which ones.
Okay.
It's good.
Weekly, like a weekly thing?
Oh, it's going to be a weekly thing on Wednesdays. And Dave and Caitlin are going to be live talking about specific topics and doing a live Q&A about grading, assessment, and feedback. It's going to be insane.
Okay, so on Wednesdays, that makes me scared that like I'm getting bumped and the brain break's getting replaced. Is this replacing brain break?
No, it is right after brain break.
Right after brain break.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know, something that I love about Dave and Caitlin is you called them guru, and I agree. But I think the thing I love most about both of them is that they both would tell you that they're not.
Yes.
They just love having these conversations. And they might come with very firm stances on things, but then when you have them communicate and talk, the best moments are when they disagree.
Yes, I love it.
Because they're open for the conversation. I love that. That's super cool. So the questions, the Q&A that's going to happen is going to be that's going to be powerful.
Well, and so we discussed it. You know, they're still finalizing the format. They have until April 7th until this is going to launch. But I told them, I was like, we do need to have a focus. They're going to have a topic that they're going to be focusing on for that hour PD. But they're not going to be like sharing their screens in a slideshow and lecturing. They're going to be discussing it, which is perfect. Because like you said, actually, Caitlin and Dave disagree all the time. And I love that. And so they're going to be working through these really, really challenging ideas when it comes to grading and assessment and feedback. And they're going to start diving into some resources that are not necessarily Teach Better resources. There are so many books, so many articles, so much research out there that they want to bring to the table to say, hey, after we facilitate these conversations, let's not have it stop here. Let's continue to be learners. And so I really see this not really ending with a live series. I think that Dave and Caitlin are going to continue to do such great work in this space. But when I was talking with them, they really wanted to just continue to foster discussion. And I think April and May are the right time to do this. I'm very, very excited.
So that's good. So March is Chad Ostrowski, building the grids, and then right into April, Dave and Caitlin.
Dave and Caitlin.
Well, okay, is there anything else? Because you said lots of stuff.
I do have another thing that I am absolutely not going to spill the beans on, but I'm just going to give a little hint that there might be a period of time when the team is live for an extended amount of time in the month of April. And I'm stopping there.
There might be a time where the team is live for an extended amount of time. Yes. So a number of hours.
A number of hours, yes.
Gotcha. Particular number of hours.
Like maybe, like 12-ish hours. I don't know.
Well, jeez, why don't you just give it away already? Like they were all wondering until that.
They thought 18, and I just want to preface, y'all, it ain't 18. Get over it. It's 12.
It's 24. We're doing 24.
No, it's not. Not.
Aw, man.
So,
okay.
as you continue to get through your February, be thinking about, ooh, this is going on in February right now. Ooh, this is happening at the end of February. Ooh, March, April. So it's going to just keep going.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that'll be good.
I think I'm going to come back to work now.
Oh, that's so nice, Jeff. We've missed you.
There's a lot going on.
Welcome home.
All right, let's talk about this episode. Erik Youngman is the Director of Curriculum and Instruction. I think I got that title correctly. In Illinois, not too far from you.
Not too far.
Couple hours.
Yep.
Super intelligent guy, brilliant guy. I really love the lens that he puts himself and the way he utilizes his personal life and resources. I'm going to say that. That's how I'm going to leave that. To then reflect and impact his job. And I really, really enjoyed his take on failures. And I'm going to let him say the words because when we talk about it there, I don't want to give it away, but I love what he says, what you need to do with them, what you need to get good at doing. I think it's really, really powerful. So we're also going to give away a copy of his book. So make sure you hang around for the whole full episode to win a copy of his book. Ray, anything else? He's a Teach Better blogger.
Yes, he's awesome.
So he's got tons of articles over at teachbetter.com by Erik as well, so you can continue there and hopefully connect with them and keep growing with him. So with that, we'll just jump right into episode 247 with Erik Youngman.
Hey everyone, we'll be right back to the episode, but I do have a little bit of an exciting event that I want y'all to be a part of. On February 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern, we are doing a private event where we are going to be sharing a Zoom link exclusively to our private Facebook group, and we are going to just all get together. We're going to hang out. We are going to encourage everyone to grab a bowl of popcorn. And this is going to be an important time for you to network with like-minded educators that are always pursuing better. Now, there are a lot of surprises coming, and I'm for sure not sharing them right now because those are only going to be shared in our private Facebook group. But if you want all the details and want access to that link that will be shared for our February 19th event at 8 o'clock Eastern, then I encourage you to go join the Teach Better Team private Facebook group over at teachbettergroup.com. All right, let's get back to the episode.
All right, we are here. We are chatting with Erik Youngman. And Erik, so awesome to have you on the podcast. Super excited to learn more about you, to dive into your story and just get to know you a little bit better and share that out with everyone else listening. Before we get too far into things, how are you feeling right now?
It's a unique time. I'm understanding what's happening within our school district. And then I have my wife and 3 daughters at different school districts. And it's just a unique time, but everyone's kind of persevering and working together.
Well, Erik, as we get started here, I know that our first question has our listeners just continue to get to know all the work that you're doing. So tell us a little bit how you answer that age-old question of, hey, Erik, what do you do?
Well, professionally, this is my 8th year as Director of Curriculum, Instruction, and Assessment in Libertyville District 70 in Illinois. I started my education career as a first grade teacher for 4 years. Then I was an assistant principal for 4 years, and then a principal for 8 years. And my experience as a teacher and principal, I mention those because as well as my experiences with my wife and 3 daughters, they continue to add to my perspective as an educator. A lot of the topics I've been talking about recently are grading and homework, and I think that lens as a parent is very helpful. And as we're talking about all these changes, I think it's really helpful for me to understand what my wife is going through. She's a speech pathologist in a school. And then in general, I love learning and discussing growth mindset, homework, learning, and leadership.
I love how you tie in the parent focus there on the parent's lens and angle and everything. I think that's really important and a great resource you have for talking with your wife and her experience and your kids and stuff like that to bring that into your role. That's awesome. So I want to dive into this. Is one of my favorite questions that we ask on every episode, and it's a question about failure. And I always say that I've been really fortunate because I failed a lot in my life, not because I enjoyed those failures, but because of what they taught me and what they kind of molded me into. So I love hearing these stories. So can you share a story with us about a time that you've had a failure in your life? Kind of take us there with you. What happened? How did you overcome that failure? And what did you take away from that experience?
I guess I'll speak in general terms. I mean, I would say I sometimes label an event as a failure when the outcome is different than what I expected. However, I truly believe that reflecting about mistakes ignites and bursts of improvement. Speaking in general terms, my mistakes happened when I was leading change. The mistakes were amplified when I did not clearly define why, and also when I did not consider multiple perspectives and voices throughout the process. However, the final outcomes were positive in the end because my colleagues and I applied what we learned when we made future decisions. And I think ultimately, if you're disciplined after making the mistakes, it really should help enhance efficiency, productivity, and success. So again, as a principal, as a curriculum director, we would just have to talk about different changes that we might make. It might be grading at the middle school level. It might be a curriculum adoption. And I think the more you can explain specifically why and what you're looking for, and then again, just really listen. Those teachers, they're in the classroom daily interacting with those students. They have different perspectives, and that can really enhance some of the discussions and decisions that you have. And same with when we're talking about a pandemic. Right now, all of the school districts have made a lot of transitions. They might have been in emergency remote, and then they might have been in hybrid. Now they might be opening up or extending what they're doing. And again, how can you value the perspectives of the students and the parents to understand what they're going through and still balance that with, again, the teachers' needs as well? So I think as much as you can understand the different perspectives and again, go back to explaining what you're hoping to accomplish, I just think ultimately in the end, that just makes a clearer decision for everyone in the process. So again, my mistakes have been implementation challenges, but I continue to carry through, how you can learn from it, how you can collaborate, and sticking to that why and explaining that.
I really love, Erik, you said that, you benefit when you apply what you've learned moving forward. And then you mentioned about being about being disciplined and how it can enhance, I think you said, efficiency, productivity, and success. And I think that's something that takes some time. It's something we really have to learn. We really do have to be disciplined on how we reflect on mistakes. And you led with talking about how you might label something a failure because it didn't turn out the way that you intended, right? And I liked it because it doesn't necessarily mean it's the end, right? It's just not the way that you thought it was going to go. That doesn't mean you're horrible. It doesn't mean you're bad at your job. It just means it didn't turn out the way that you intended. So then if you can get ourselves disciplined enough to reflect on those things and to then grab what we can learn from it and apply it, that's where the real power of that type of experience comes in. I really enjoyed that a lot. So let's flip it now. Let's talk about a successful moment you had. This could be something big or something small, but kind of take us there with you again. Tell us what happened. Why was it a success for you? And then what did you take away from that experience?
I've heard positive feedback that my recommendations about homework are helping others. And so in the end, I think the outcome was I wrote a book, 12 Characteristics of Deliberate Homework. I did that after leading analysis for our school district about improving homework. And as I was doing that, I also was seeing as a parent, my ninth grader at the time was in sixth grade, and she had excessive amounts of homework. And so I was starting to create slides for my school district, thinking as a parent, and then sharing out on Twitter. And ultimately, I connected with a great author about grading and assessment, Kathy Vadrot. And as we connected and talked through some different scenarios, she really encouraged me to present and write. And I kind of skipped the writing the article stage. I just went right to a book. I think I had enough ideas, and I worked with Routledge to publish that. And now I'm kind of going backwards, and now I'm starting to write blogs. So I know I've written some for Teach Better about growth mindset. But again, I mention it because the book was important because it was to help my school district. But then I kind of connected it to other needs. And there are other authors who really wrote about the research of why you should assign homework, why you should not. And I just really focused on when and if you assign it, you need to be deliberate about some specific characteristics. And so to simplify it, I say you need to be deliberate about reasonable homework. So it needs to be reasonable regarding completion time, complexity, and frequency. And that's typically the foundation. When I'm working with teachers or presenting, that's where we start first. And then you look at homework to make sure that it's meaningful. It has a meaningful purpose, learning targets, format, and sequence. And it has scaffolded support connected with a learning or growth mindset. And then also it needs to be informative regarding communication, feedback, and grading criteria. And all of these topics, again, people are pretty passionate about homework as well as grading. And so when you talk about grading and we talk about homework, you have to connect those and talk about how you can properly communicate and provide feedback throughout that process. And then finally, I just talk about a consistent implementation. But I think the book, I have been talking about it, I've been tweeting about it, and then I've been connecting with other educators trying to help their school districts. And I just think it's valuable, again, as the lens of a parent, what is homework that you would like to see assigned? Or if you were a teacher, what is homework that would be meaningful for you? And so then I can kind of shift that focus to the instructional and teaching merit of it all. So it's just opened up some great discussions because ultimately I'm trying to make an impact where teachers can reflect about their practices. It's not that they're doing anything wrong. And it's very challenging because we all have so many initiatives that we're focusing on. But again, if we can be more deliberate about homework, again, now my daughters are in 5th, 7th, and 9th grade. And now I'm seeing what my 9th grade daughters' homework are. And even if you see trends, for example, every Thursday or Friday you have a test. Well, if you have a test in all 8 classes, that creates some complexity. So the more that schools and school districts can collaboratively review this process, I think it's going to make a better impact for our students, because if you do this in isolation, you cannot make that change.
You know, Eric, something I really hear through your answers is really looking for that intentionality to exist within what we do, whether it be homework or anything else. And I love that focus because I think that actually can be something that everyone can not only be implementing in homework, but really in every avenue of education, which I know you do professional development on a lot of stuff, homework being only one of the many things that I know you enjoy working with educators on. When it comes to what is exciting you right now about education, kind of like what's exciting you about what you do, what would that be?
There's a lot going on, but I think I love the collaborative hope, optimism, courage, creativity, and resilience that educators and students are exemplifying this school year. This is not easy. I see what our students are going through. Everyone has their own challenges, but they're really working hard. I know a lot of the parents and a lot of people are expecting more. Not everyone is 100% happy, but a lot of people are working hard. Overnight, in early April, they made some changes. Over the summer, they enhanced them even more. And then now we're revisiting that to enhance instruction and learning more. So it is not perfect, but I truly think the students and teachers are doing an exemplary job. I think we need to continue to enhance the amazing changes that we made. So when this pandemic is over, whenever it is, I do not think we should automatically go back to how we taught before the pandemic. I think a guiding question might be, how will we continue to inspire a passion for learning and enhance student understanding? So I think overall, again, I'm really just trying to support teachers, and I'm trying to celebrate with them that hope and optimism. But again, I'll go back to my wife. She's burnt out. She's a speech pathologist working with 4-year-old students, and it's a lot. So she's pretty honest with me when I start talking about growth mindset and persevering. She checks me and says, all right, let's be realistic. We're all burnt out. But again, that's helpful, because then when I have those conversations with teachers, I try to empathize with what they're going through and really try to listen. And again, just try to support them and work in partnership with the parents. So ultimately, it's best for the students.
Yeah, you shared so much in there. It's so interesting. I think a lot of educators listening right now, no matter how you consider yourself an educator, regardless of your role, have felt that burnout, that frustration, that feeling of defeat, but also hopefully, in addition to that, moments of success. And so I really value hearing about how you've been able to process through that, not only yourself, but obviously with your wife, and really thinking about how you can support educators in that role. If you had one piece of advice that you were going to offer to teachers for this episode, what would your piece of advice you'd want them to consider?
Focus on empathetic flexibility and continuous improvement with a growth mindset as you collaborate with others. I tweet all the time about a growth mindset, and I'm trying to dig in depth to unpack that for others to help. But I think if you start with that empathetic flexibility, how can you understand what others are going through? How you can pivot. I know that's probably a bad word now because we've had to pivot so many times, but how can we change to really help others? And again, just that focus on continuous improvement. I'm not competing with any other school district. I love interacting with other assistant superintendents. I love learning from other educators on Twitter. How can we learn together? How can we keep getting a little bit better, that incremental progress? And that collaboration is key. Sometimes it might be a conversation with someone within your district. Sometimes it's via Twitter with someone in a different state or country, but how can you learn from them? We can see right now what is happening in other states, what is happening in other countries, how are they handling it? And then that can help us as we're making decisions as well. So I kind of connected a couple items into one sentence, but I really believe that those are important.
I love that, Eric. That's so true. And I love that you're focused on the collaboration and not being in competition, but rather learning with and from. So we're going to get into our 6 questions here, but first I want to talk about your book. I know we're going to give away a copy, which is awesome, and we really, really appreciate that. But before we do that, can you share just a little bit about the book? What's the book about? Who's it for? And where can we grab it?
It's via Routledge, but you can really just Google it. It's called 12 Characteristics of Deliberate Homework. The focus is really for teachers and administrators. Again, if you choose to assign homework, how can you make that meaningful and deliberate? And in each of the chapters, I talk through the different aspects of it. Again, starting with that reasonable completion time, complexity, and frequency. As we're talking through it, I really did write it so it can guide professional development and reflection. I'm asking a lot of questions. I'm not saying what people are doing is wrong. It's more asking them to reflect. How can they think about that student who's a low achieving student? How can they think of that homework experience for that person who is playing 3 hours of travel sports every night and doesn't have time for practice? So it's really just trying to empathize. And you have to, at the same time, as a school district, understand what your stakeholders want. Some school district will want a lot more homework and some will want hardly any. But regardless what that target is, I kind of guide educators to think how they can make it a little bit more meaningful. And sometimes that question is really a concise homework question. It's not 30 questions for math. It might just be one question to think about it. So in the end, it's a great book to guide reflection, and I look forward to continuing to talk about how we can improve homework.
I love it. All right, we're going to give a copy away. If you're listening right now and you want to grab a copy of the book, you got to join us over on Twitter and tweet out. Make sure that you tweet at Teach Better Team and hashtag Teach Better Talk. And then, Eric, can you share your Twitter? I believe is Youngman. Am I saying is the right one?
At Erik_Youngman, and it's Eric with a K.
Yep, Eric with a K, and it's with _Youngman. Awesome. All right, Eric, what do we need them to answer? Like a question, a thought? What do we want them to tweet out at us to try and win this thing?
I can send out the question as soon as I am done with this. The question can be, how can you make homework more reasonable or meaningful for students?
Oh, all right. So tweet that out. Your answer to that. Make sure you tag us, tag Erica, tag hashtag Teach Better Talk, and we're going to pick someone randomly and give that book away. That's awesome. Really appreciate you doing that, Eric. That's cool. Love when we get to do stuff like that. So, all right, let's keep having some fun here. We're going to do the next 6 questions, and your goal is to answer each one in 15 seconds or less. Are you ready to go?
Absolutely.
All right. What is one EdTech tool you cannot live without?
Currently, it's Google Slides.
Give us a book you're reading right now.
I am rereading Visible Learning for Teachers by John Hattie, as we're talking about knowing thy impact and understanding effect sizes.
Who do we need to follow on Twitter or Instagram today?
I continue to learn and share a lot about curriculum and instruction, but lately I've been reflecting a lot about leadership. So on Twitter, Steve Keating is someone I've been learning a lot from.
What's a good YouTube channel, website, or podcast for educators to check out?
There's multiple great Teach Better podcasts I've been listening to, but recently as I've been focusing on hybrid and concurrent instruction, I've been listening to a podcast by Caitlin Tucker called The Balance.
Give us a daily, weekly, or monthly routine every teacher should get into.
Ask questions as you curiously learn and collaborate with others.
And what is the best piece of advice you've ever received?
I like quotes, and so right now my favorite quote is by Dr. Carol Dweck. Love challenges, be intrigued by mistakes, enjoy effort, and keep on learning.
Ooh, that's a great quote. I love that one. So powerful. You know, Eric, I want to make sure our listeners can stay connected to you, not only because of the book, but really because you are constantly sharing out. I know you're huge on Twitter. Would you mind sharing your handle one more time so everyone can ensure they stay connected? And then obviously the link to the book and everything else is also on your Twitter. So it's like a one-stop shop.
Yes, on Twitter at Erik_Youngman. And it's Eric with a K.
Makes it super easy for you. And you can find all the links, all the resources, everything we talked about in this episode over at teachbetter.com, as well as the links to make sure you get that just right and connect with Eric and keep the conversation going. So head over to teachbetter.com for all of that. Be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming episodes. And if you can give us a rating and a review, we'd really appreciate that as well. And let's keep taking this one step further. Think of just 3 of your colleagues who need to hear these amazing stories and connect with these amazing educators, and just share this podcast with them. Eric, this was awesome. I'm so happy we got to have you on the podcast. Super excited for someone to win that book. Excited for people to be connecting with you and to continue to learn and grow with you. And just really appreciate you taking some time out of your day and hanging out with us and chatting with us. Thank you.
I enjoyed the conversation. Thank you.
Until next time, let's get out there and let's teach better.